We are back with episode 3 of WedTalks, and I'm so excited to have one of my best girlfriends here, the famous Joy Lovless.
Hi.
She is a makeup artist here in St. Louis, Missouri, and we work together all the time. She is super well known for doing dramatic looks, but also a staple here in the St. Louis bridal industry. If you want her, you need to book her about 4 years in advance.
Not 4, 2.
2. We literally have brides at the venue who have picked their date around Joy's schedule.
Availability.
But I mean, I guess looking good is
Number one
priority.
It would be mine, but that's just me.
So Joy, tell me.
Venue second.
Yeah, venue second. Okay, I'll give it to you. Maybe first.
Yeah. Or first. First and second. Book us both.
Yeah, same time. We'll coordinate. Yeah, actually, we did that.
We do it a lot.
Yeah, we had somebody inquire, and they were like, can you just touch base with Joy on the scheduling?
I love it.
Okay, so Joy, tell me a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you, kind of how you got started doing makeup and what you're currently doing now.
A little bit about me. Wow. And to put that simply, I've done makeup professionally for 11 years, and bridal was by accident. So here I am, 11 years later.
By accident? What do you mean? What happened?
I booked a bride on accident who was a client. She worked at a nightclub. How true do you want me to be?
Be true.
Okay. She worked at a nightclub and she was like, well, I'm getting married. And I was like shocked by that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I ended up doing her wedding. We posted a picture and then it went viral.
Isn't that so funny?
Here, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Can't believe it.
Well, here you are.
Never planned on it, but.
Yeah. Booking 2 years out. Mm-hmm. So Joy is currently building a studio. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I can I say the location of it?
It's in Crestwood.
Yeah, so it's going to be in Crestwood. Mm-hmm. So you'll be able to go to her. And then also she travels and does services on the wedding day.
Yes.
So for today's purpose, we're going to talk about all things bridal.
Okay.
And kind of some controversial topics.
Okay,
so we're going to get right in there. So what is...
Well, I need my PR person here.
What is a bride's biggest mistake when it comes to makeup?
I think...
And it can be like if they're not using you, of course, because you would never allow this to happen.
Okay, so number one thing that I think brides are making mistakes is following trends and not sticking to like how they feel they're best, which is what is most important. That and also listening to other people's opinions versus their own.
Yeah.
Because I'll do a bride's trial. She loves it. It's everything she dreamed of. And then she goes home and she shows her mom or her sister and they think it's something else. The next thing you know, they're confused. And then also judging it a little bit too far out from the wedding day.
Yeah, because you could totally change your mind.
Well, and you also just change how you look over time. So when brides book their trial too soon, it becomes a little bit like, okay, well, you're going to be tanner, and everyone's like, well, I'm going to lose weight, and I'm going to, they're
going to be back for another trial.
And so I always tell brides, do it way closer to the date, so you feel your best, look your best, and just do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Period. The end.
I love it.
Yeah.
So people come to you, and I feel like you are like the glam queen.
Yeah, that's my signature.
Yeah.
But I think any good makeup artist, if you're trained and have done this long enough, you understand how to change what you need to do per person. And not every person needs a lot of makeup, you know, and it just really is up to each customer in my chair. I think I can do that, which is why people come to me, but that doesn't mean that that's like my end all be all, you know?
And we always chat about how does your photography impact like the way you do your makeup?
A lot.
Yeah, it does. And I'm a photographer.
Yeah, Lauren's done photography for how many years?
Too long.
So semi-retired.
I don't want to age myself.
Yeah.
But she comes to the studio a lot, and I shoot film and very bright and light.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, and you have to do your makeup different. So I think it's really important when chatting with Joy about your wedding or whoever your makeup artist is to kind of relay some information about your photographer. And if they're not familiar with...
You'd be shocked how many brides don't know that if their photographer shoots digital, shoots film, if they edit light and airy or if they edit dark, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, let's look at their Instagram and let's see how it's going to look.
I'm sure the photographer has a preference and they
100%.
just communicate that to the bride, which can, you know, tell the makeup artist. So, no, that's definitely good advice. So One thing, and you've been at the venue a few times already,
Yeah.
doing real makeup and hair for real
I
clients.
shot my whole masterclass here.
Yeah, she did. She has a masterclass coming out. Shameless plug.
Yep,
And
shameless
she shot
plug.
it here. Yeah.
And I shot it at Westwind.
Yeah, she did.
It was my first choice of venue based on lighting. So
Yeah, lighting. And what are some other things that you look for in a getting ready or bridal suite for?
Man.
Yeah.
So this sounds so silly, but I'm just going to say it. The amount of venues that we go to that just don't have what they need is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like even down to just like a hook where a bride can put her dress.
Yeah.
It's in the getting ready process. We take up a lot of space. So
A little excessive sometimes.
yeah, 100%. We bring an entire makeup studio. We got 2 ring lights, a pop-up chair, the whole 9. But like sometimes there's no counter space.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, well, I've put my kid on the floor before.
Yeah.
So counter space is what brides need to be looking for.
Outlets.
Oh my gosh, outlets.
Yeah, we
Lauren
made
has
sure-
outlets on the floor and on the wall.
Everywhere. Like, I was like, just put them everywhere.
Yeah.
The contractor was like, do you really need them?
And you're like,
I'm like,
yes,
yes,
everywhere.
we really do. You could tell it was men that were working
They
with me on
build,
that.
yeah. Well, and a lot of men build venues, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but having the insight of someone who has worked in the bridal
Yeah.
industry, I think made Westwind different
Yeah.
because you thought of every little thing from experience.
We built it for a wedding.
Yes.
Not just a event venue that, we so happen to do
Yeah.
weddings.
Well, how many weddings have you done where there was not a plug?
Oh my God.
Or how many weddings have I done where there was no counter space?
Well, or I think one of the biggest things too is, and this is circling back to being a photographer, is
Yeah.
I always show up and I'm expected to shoot and make these beautiful getting ready portraits. And of course, the makeup artists are in the exact spot where I would be shooting because they want the natural
The good
light.
light, yeah.
Yeah. So I think competing for space is always such an issue with getting ready spaces. And with us, we have a defined space for the makeup artist
Yeah.
and a defined space for getting ready, and then a separate space for all your shit.
Well, I think that is really what makes
So.
this, and I know that I'm sitting with you, but truly that's why this makes Westwind is my favorite venue, based on that. Like, I don't have to clean up super fast. I can leave my stuff kind of junky while the wedding party needs
Yeah.
to start photography.
Because it's
right?
stressful for you guys.
It's chaotic, and the next thing you know, the bride's kind of angry because she's like, okay, well, everyone's stuff's everywhere. Just
Yeah.
like, I've even done weddings where a bridal party had to like wait outside and like
Yeah.
couldn't be with the bride, and that's like part
A
of the
bummer, too.
morning.
Like, you
you're
want
supposed
it
to be
all
with your friends.
connected. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just couldn't imagine.
When
So.
people don't realize too, when you book a venue, for ours, it's a 12-hour rental.
Yeah.
But when it's your wedding day, I would say 4 to 6 hours of that is spent in the getting ready space.
More.
Literally.
An average schedule of mine is around 5 hours.
Yeah. So let's chat about that.
Okay, yeah.
So what is realistic? Joy's brides are always adding hours in the morning with us
100%.
and coming in at 8 a.m.
I call it oh shit time.
Yeah.
Okay. So my brides, I can get a bride done in an hour, hair and makeup, 30 minutes of service. If I'm not really talking and I'm just moving, which sometimes you have to do that as a makeup artist. But if I could take the time that I need, it's about an hour and a half, and then I account for what I call oh shit time.
Yeah.
And oh shit time is an extra 30 minutes to every service, maybe 15, just to ensure that there's nothing that goes wrong. If someone wants to change their lash or if their eye is watering, right?
Yeah.
So if you're getting hair and makeup with us, it's 1.5 hours at minimum, 2 hours at maximum
Well,
per
and that's
person.
that's also not including things that you're not in control of. Like,
Which
the
is
makeup artist
always happening.
is not in control of if your bridesmaid's stuck in traffic, or if your bridesmaid has to nurse their baby, or if the mother
that.
of the groom all of a sudden wasn't accounted for but wants to come in and maybe get her eye done.
That
Like,
happened today.
all the time.
It
And
does.
people just don't think about these things. Just having more than enough time is so important to not feel stressed. You don't want your vendors to feel stressed because you want them to be able to deliver exceptional service, and
Yeah.
then you don't want to be stressed as well.
Yeah.
So
And it
time is everything.
And having more of it, you're more relaxed.
Yeah.
When you're running out of time is when it's like chaos.
Yeah, and I think too, looking for, and this is just, kind of in general, but something that you guys do offer is
Yeah.
you have a team that comes in, like
That
not
offer
just
both services.
that offer both hair and makeup. So I think having a team that is adequate for your size wedding party is super important.
100%. And that work well together. So we're totally down to work with anybody. Like if someone else has a hairstylist that they love, like by all means bring them. But I love that we offer hair and makeup because you're with the same person the whole time.
Yeah.
Right? We're not working with two different people's schedules. One person's faster than the other.
There's
It
no
just
lag.
is like a flow,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that's what's made us great because we don't really run behind. On rare occasion, have we
Never.
ran behind? Yeah, to be honest, no.
Yeah, and I have like notorious people that I work with that do.
Well, and what's sad is over time, those vendors kind of are known and it's like, oh, well, this will probably take a little longer.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's kind of not good.
But that's why you're good.
That's why we're here.
That is why you're good. Okay, so back to the trends thing.
Okay.
So what is kind of a wedding trend that you're seeing right now in bridal? Is there anything?
Actually, more laid back makeup.
Okay.
And I'm loving it. Like,
so and we
clean beauty.
Yeah.
Like very Hailey Bieber vibes, which I hate to use her as an example, but like even on her wedding day, she threw her hair in like what looks like a soccer bun, you know, just like a casual little bun. But more and more brides are coming in with like less like perfected looks and more like organic, and I'm really loving it. Even myself, like I'm starting to kind of ease up on like the dramas of things.
Contour.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and what people don't understand, and again, because we talk about this on the side, is
we're real friends in real life.
We're real friends. Is people don't understand that like natural makeup
isn't necessarily
natural.
Yeah.
It is like sometimes even harder to accomplish.
Yeah.
Because
it's very hard to accomplish.
Yeah.
I think it takes a really tenured artist to do natural makeup that stays on and looks photo friendly well.
Yes. Agree.
The definition of natural to me is like no makeup. Mm-hmm. So do you want to look natural or you want to be natural? I feel like they're vastly different.
Yeah. 100%. And I think understanding.
You like natural makeup.
I do. I mean, I've had you do some glam.
Yeah.
Well, Lauren level glam.
Yeah, exactly. Lauren level glam.
Yeah.
Which is like you want to look natural, but you don't want to be natural.
Yes, for sure.
And what are we trying to say? Like, what does that really mean?
That brides still want to look like themselves on their wedding day and not look like, oh my God, I can't say that. Not look like they just have like, you know, straight up lines and super harsh and like, you know, people don't want to see you in person and be like, whoa.
Yeah. Well,
but obviously it's going to look good on a camera.
It matters how you look in person and on camera.
I know.
Both matter.
But a lot of these celebrities, like if you saw them in person.
It's scary. Yeah.
It is a little bit excessive. Oh my gosh. So, okay.
We're not trying to be judgmental.
No.
It's not that, but it's just like, where's the fine line between like perfected and just beautiful? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that there really is. And it's coming back to natural.
Yeah.
It was very high glam.
It was glitter. It was cut creases. It was lashes.
The cut crease thing. I don't like that.
I know you don't.
It's really like not flattering.
It can be if someone doesn't have the eyelid space that they need.
Okay. I want to see it flattering.
Yeah.
You got to show me.
I've done a lot of them.
Okay.
You want to see one?
Yeah. Maybe send it to me. We'll flash it up on the screen. You could show me after.
Well, it's a semi-cut crease.
Yeah. Okay, so what are 2 things, if you could give any bride 2 pieces of advice on their wedding day for their hair and makeup, what would it be?
2 pieces of advice on a wedding day for hair and makeup. I'll just kind of say things that I say all the time. Mm-hmm. I don't really care what the back of your dress looks like. Don't pick your hair around that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Yeah, because your pictures are from the front.
Also, when you're on Pinterest looking for inspiration, pay attention to the minor details. A lot of the times, so one of the things that me and my team are really great at is dissecting inspiration photos, and we spend about 10 minutes talking about inspiration because women look at a beautiful woman and they're like, I just love that.
They just want to look like her because she's pretty.
Literally, but they don't realize that there's a giant gold ring, gold glitter, a wing. There's, you know, the Pinterest photo from the back looks really pretty, but to create that, you need, you know, loops in the hair.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of like explaining like, okay, well, if we do that, it's going to end up looking like this. Are you aware of that? And most of the time people are like, I didn't even notice that. Yeah. So just picking an inspiration picture that like tells the story you want to tell.
Yeah. So, and back to that, like people don't really realize, you know, the full scope of the work.
detail. And I spend a lot of time meticulously pulling apart pictures. Like, okay, did you notice that her eyeliner is like pretty extended out there to the, you know, the hairline? And she's like, oh, didn't see that. And I'm like, and if I would have spent time doing that eyeliner and you didn't even notice it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, we got to fix it.
Well, and I think too that filters.
Oh, God.
And I know we could go into like a whole tangent about that, but like filters and Instagram and the way like
I've had people
AI
bring in
is.
pictures of themselves with the filter and say, well, can I just look like this? And I'm like,
God.
well, if we could, I wouldn't have a job.
I'm like,
you know what I mean?
Well, it really is creating these
Yeah.
image problems with women, like
100%,
truly.
Yeah.
So
And don't get me wrong, Lord knows I love a filter.
I know.
Right? But
I yell at her
on
all the
myself
time.
when I'm like on stories and I don't feel my greatest, whatever. But hopefully if your makeup artist does your makeup correct, you should look filtered
Yes.
enough. You're still gonna have pores. You're still gonna have
Yes,
you know,
like the
certain,
pore thing.
Yeah,
That
that's
is-
a big deal. People really. I had a mom today who looked at me and she's like, "Well, like I kind of got like a little line right here," and I in a nice way said, "Well, when you express and you smile, your face moves, and makeup over time will move into lines. Like that's just a fact."
And there are things you can do about
and
that.
I said the best thing you're gonna do all day is just kind of press it out. Like I'm in my 20s and I have a smile line. Okay, all day I'm like this.
Yeah.
It's just a part of it. It's we're human.
Well, and I think too, a lot of people see, people have filler and Botox and all of these things that are done prior to the wedding day.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That then change the look of the makeup.
Everything.
Yes.
Even peach fuzz removal. That's a big one.
Yes.
Like a lot of brides will come to me during their trial and they have peach fuzz that they didn't even notice that they had. And they're like, well, I can see all my little... And I'm like, well, that'll be gone hopefully by the wedding day.
Yeah.
And like that's something I recommend to my brides, removing a peach fuzz.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference. You do that, right?
I do sometimes.
Yeah, every blue moon.
Yeah. You did it for me when you did my makeup.
See, it's
I was like,
important.
oh, that's all
think
on
about
there.
it. If you have a layer of like, it's called vellus hair, but if you have a layer of vellus hair over the skin, makeup can't really stick to it.
Well, in blondes, I feel like they're just...
Oh, we get it, and you don't even see it until you see it. And then you're
Yes.
like, did I have a beard this whole time?
I know. Oh my God. Hopefully that camera is not zoomed in on my face right now.
Yeah. How funny. Is there a filter on this?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we have a ton of brides upcoming together.
We do.
And we have so many fun things to look forward to. What is one thing you're looking forward to this year?
Opening my studio.
I'm so excited
I'm
for
kidding.
you. No, I mean, let's talk about it.
Okay, so I decided that makeup artists kind of had two roles in the world. It was a side hustle and they do it on the weekends and they go to people, or they end up working in their house the way I have, and it's borderline embarrassing, and I'm like, I don't really want people like coming to my home. It's not. I got over it.
Well, there's like a line. And when
Yeah.
it starts to be crossed and invading on your personal time, it's time to...
It's also just like a lack of professionalism though,
Agreed.
too, a little bit. Like I hate having people pull down my driveway. Like that just to me is like, but there's really not a place for makeup artists, right? Mm-hmm. So my goal since I was 19 was to create a home for makeup artists and for clients to be able to find a makeup artist. Because the reality is they hop online.
So tell me how it will work. Are you and your girls, your team, do they all have kind of standalone spots in there? Mm-hmm. And can other makeup artists use the space at all?
So what we're going to do is we have essentially like I want you to think of it kind of like a hair salon. Like there's a receptionist, but instead of stations, there's private rooms. So there's 6 private rooms right now. Hopefully one day we'll expand and it'll be a lot bigger. But they run their own business. Their own business cards have their name on it. Like they don't have to just represent my company, but we all abide by like a certain code of conduct, right? Like a certain level of service, a certain thing that we do for our clients, that kind of thing. And so I'm technically still like a boss of it, but they get to run their own business out of a business. So giving makeup artists a place to work that is based out of a makeup hub. And then we're also going to have like masterclass nights where we invite people in to like just play in makeup.
Love
and
it.
like have fun.
I'm coming.
And make like a community thing out of it, and also teach regular women how to do makeup. So like education, collaboration, artists together.
Yeah, well, back to the wedding day.
Yeah.
If you cannot get your favorite makeup artist in the world,
Yeah.
I've seen you do, and this may be a little controversial, but I've seen you do makeup lessons and have girls like for
Yeah.
a destination wedding.
100%.
This is a good example.
Yeah.
They aren't going to fly their makeup artist there because maybe it's not in the budget, but they come to you, get a lesson.
Or the language barrier. Like
Yeah.
I've had a lot of brides that have gotten married in Mexico and they're like, I had a hard time relaying it and I just thought maybe this would be easier. And I'm like, you know what? Like, let's try.
It
What's
takes
worst
the
that can
worry
happen?
out of it. They know what they're doing. They know it's going to be done the way
Or
they
at least
like
they
it.
have a backup plan.
Yeah, so
like,
you can
well, at least
do-
I can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can do a lesson specific for like
Bridal.
date night or bridal or anything.
Yeah.
So very cool.
Show me a picture and we can teach you how to do it.
I love it. Well, I still need to come for my lesson.
Yeah, we've been trying to put this on the books.
Yeah, we'll do it. Maybe out at Westwind Hills, we can do a
We should do
pop-up
it.
day.
Yeah, we can do it in the room that's with the good lighting.
Yes, I
all
love
of them. Every single room.
Well, thank you seriously so much for coming. You're such a good friend, and we wish you the best success with your newest journey.
Thanks, Lauren.
And we are so excited to have Joy back at the venue. I'll make sure I tag her. Thank you so much for watching. This has been another episode of WedTalks.